Hey, Andreas, how you doing?
You look better live than on the pictures you print on your brochure.
Well, I got to tell you, I hope you're as happy as I am that we're finally able to make your gift a real house and a real home for people. This is it's been a long time coming, but the fence is up, so that means it's happening. And once again, thank you. I mean, it all started.
You're welcome. I could not believe when Martha called me last week to invite me. I thought this was the invitation for the grand opening.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it took that long.
That would make sense. Yeah. But except that we're in Chicago and it takes a long time.
It took 524 days to get the permit.
Not sure, but here we are. So,
but was there any resistance, or that's just the normal course of how things?
Yeah. Yep.
It was a cluster. What can I say?
Yeah.
Okay. But there were no protests or anything.
No.
Yeah. No.
Citizens.
Okay. The people in the neighborhood came by and before and today even to kind of see what's going on. But everybody's good with what we're doing.
Okay.
It's and I think involving people from the outset helps a lot. Nobody wants stuff to just happen. They want to know what's going on.
All right. So how long do you think it's going to take now until the building really opens? Until the first person can move in?
Yep.
We're hoping for June.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But it'll take about 6 to 8 weeks for licensing of the facility after we've completed construction, which should be the mid-April.
But look, if the permits took that long, why are now
it's a different organization?
That the building can be done in
the license comes through the state, and we churn these around with them pretty regularly. So while we don't have total control over it, I'm feeling a lot better about that process.
With regard to the licensing, but how about the actual construction?
I'm sorry, we are in the flight pattern of Midway right over here.
Yes. So how long is the construction? You don't expect any delays in construction?
No.
I don't expect any.
Okay.
All right. I think we are ready to get started with a little short program. So I'm going to excuse myself from here and get over there, and you'll be able to see all that going on too.
Okay. Go to work.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Hey.
What a great day, right? Yeah. Boy, it's been a long time coming, but we are ready to build a house. And I want to welcome everybody to this very first day, this first beginning. Peter had said to me, when the fence goes up, it's happening. So the fence is up. Welcome to our members who are here, and to the folks from Henry Brothers who are going to make this thing happen, to our board members. Today is a day for us to celebrate what's been so far a long road, but a really productive one. And middle of next year, we're actually going to have a house and people living in it.
We're here.
So today is about celebrating the beginning of the final stage of making that happen. And we have a number of people who are going to just acknowledge really specific things.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to turn this over to Dan Durbin, one of our board members, for our first toast.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I'm Dan Durbin, and when I was chair of the board a couple of years ago, Mark came up with this idea and says, hey, we got some land that was donated, maybe we should build a home. I'm like, sounds good. But then it finally happened, and he brought it to the board, and the board was thrilled about it, and we said, let's get behind this. So here's to the vision of having a dream home in this community. So yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Another Dan Kennedy. This is where it all started, right here. Dan is our facilities manager, and he was driving by this beautiful lot, which is near our Frick Center. And he called me one day and he said, Marty, there's been this sign in this yard for literally for years. He said, do you think you could just call the realtor and ask if they can give it to us? And amazingly, this guy said, you know, I have a son who has autism and I have a real heart for your mission. So he wasn't worried about his mission. And he said, I will give the owner a call. He's down in Florida, and see what he has to say, see if he can consider it. So Dan?
Yeah, that was it. I've been driving past this lot for years. And we spoke to Marty, so let's go after him.
So cheers to that. That's right. And Andreas. We're all going to be very quiet and try to hear what Andreas has to say, offering a toast.
Well, the realtor you were talking about, he used to spend his annual vacation in Naples, Florida, where I live. And as it happens, he resides during his vacation time in the community where I live. And that's how we met. At a bar, really, or at a restaurant.
Okay.
And that's how the conversation came up. And we were talking about that lot, which I had bought some time before. And then he suggested, hey, have you considered a donation? And I never done anything like that. So you talk to the attorney, the accountant, everybody. And then I think from there on, everything happened rather quickly.
Well, thank you, Andreas. A toast to our first donor. We appreciate you so much.
Actually, I got prepared and have.
The next step in the journey was Susan Turner, who's also here online, joining us from her home in Canada. Susan, raise a toast.
Indeed. It's been a long time coming. I want to thank the entire dream team for participating and making this happen. As you heard, it started 6 years ago with the generous donation of this gorgeous piece of property by Andreas Mueller. And not only is my company, Johnson Lasky Kindlen, involved in this. Well, the story is that I met Marty for the first time just after Andreas had donated the property. And she was telling me all about it. And she said, but I have no clue how to get this house built. And so I was saying, well, I can get you a schematic design. And she said, get me one. How? Is there like a store I can go to? And I said, no, I'll make you one. And she said, well, how do you make one? And I said, oh, right, we just met. I'm an architect. And so that was the starting point of this journey. And then as it got through design development, I changed jobs to join Johnson Lasky Kindlen, and they agreed to take it on pro bono for me to complete this through the construction drawings. I, in turn, enlisted all of the consultants. So the structural is done by the structural group. For MEP, the Color Design Group joined on. Electrical is handled by Facet Engineering. The civil engineering is done by Joseph A. Shute and Associates. And of course, landscaping by Hitchcock Design. So we got it to the point where we had construction drawings, and right about then was Peter Ho was indicating he would like to be more active with Envision. And again, Marty talked to him, explained about this project when she heard it was an architect that she was talking to. And he joined our merry band to do the project management for it. And he spent so much time on coordinating my harebrained idea that I have for donated labor and materials. And then Henry Brothers signed on for all the pre-construction services. And since then, so many folks have signed on. It's just amazing, the generosity of people. And it's really coming together. There's so many donations to celebrate. Like Dave Cook, who's on this call, who has generously donated the windows and exterior doors. I can't be happier with all the support we've had from the construction industry. So again, cheers to finally being on site. Yay!
Cheers, everybody! Cheers, cheers, cheers! So I think it's Next up is Henry Brothers and Peter Hope. Javier and Peter, can you come out here where they can see you online as well?
Well, thank you. So as Susan, had mentioned that, I got involved because I not only am excited about this project, but, my sister is a member of Envision. And with this new, ADA senior home, maybe somewhere down the road as she ages, that she could be, living in this particular, location. And then through just my business network, I was able to reach out to Henry Brothers, and Tom O'Brien in particular had done some business with him in the past in the Chicago area. And so Tom, one conversation led to some questions, and next thing you know, Henry Brothers is helping us put the whole construction team together. So, and then the other person I want to thank also at the very end, we were so close in getting the permit, but we just kept getting pushed out because some things just didn't get matched up. But we had Burnham Nationwide, which is a local expediter. We got them involved in the last few months, and they were able to just get us across the finish line. So again, many people were involved, all the design team, the engineering team, the construction team. We had great donors. Susan and Marty were instrumental in bringing all the donors onto the project. So about a third of our money is through that we've raised is through donations of materials and labor to the project, and obviously some other fundraising that occurred. So we're all set and we're ready to start. So cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Up to you, Dave.
David?
Well, I couldn't be more pleased with what I'm seeing finally come to fruition here, because I know from day one of my involvement with Envision Unlimited, the dream home had been kind of put out there as a
Dream.
really neat project that you guys had ongoing, and it really captured my attention. And being in sort of the construction industry field, if you will, it was particularly of interest to me and Feldcove particularly. So, to see this all finally coming to fruition, given all the challenges that everybody's been through, it is super, super exciting that not only can we participate, but this is actually going to be happening and in relatively short order. So we couldn't be more pleased to be a part of it. And Susan, thank you. Peter, thank you. Everybody that's there, thank you. And gosh, cheers from us to you.
All right, cheers. C-Man, you're up.
Like Peter, I have a brother. Everybody knows Tucson. Whoever knows Tucson, give me a big whoop. Yeah, look at that. That's a lot of love right there. That's my homie. And the thing that I think is so cool about this is, one, it's just a massive amount of growth for the organization. I've been here for a long time and have been documenting the growth as it has been growing. And that's just amazing to me to have this kind of thing in our legacy. So cheers to growth. Cheers to outstandingness, and cheers to my brother Tucson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm Donna Ennis. I'm the Vice President of our Community Living Programs on the IDD side. And I'm going to just tap into the dream that everybody's talking about, because it's been a dream for many of us that support our members in community living to get more accessible housing, more individualized, really, something that our members, as they age, as we all age, we want to age in place in our homes, in our communities, and with our family. And for many, family is our community living programs. So we've got a number of our managers here from our community living programs. They're really excited because they know this is what we need. This is what we need. We need more houses like this. And we've got a lot of members that are currently in our homes and have been for years, that are interested in having this be their new home. And Gail, what were you telling me? No, I don't know. I got Gail. Do you remember what you said to me when we got here? Do you want, if I could paraphrase? Gail said she had a dream that her house was getting ready for her to move into. So Gail, to you, to Diana, to other members that we're looking at to be living in our dream home, this is for you guys. So cheers. And here's to more growth. And thank you to all of the people working on the project, to our board, to our administration that's in support of this, because you got it. You're listening, you're hearing, and thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Back to you to close it.
All right.
Big toast. All right, maybe Gail, is there something you want to say now that Mark is here? What would you like to say?
I went, to see my house.
You wait to see your house.
Wait.
Not so long now.
Bring it up as quickly as possible.
Excellent.
How about that?
Say cheers.
So before I close out, I have to recognize the work that Marty did on this project. She knew it was going to happen, whatever knowing means. But she and Susan have made an amazing fundraising team, which is what we needed to actually make this thing get built. And you know anything about Marty, you know that she will give you a really good path to investing your resources into our mission and love it. And so I'll take this moment to say thank you to everybody here who has put resources, time, effort, money, donations into making this home possible. And come back in the summer and we will all celebrate a beautiful new home here at 83rd Washington. Cheers.